I see ya. What up?
Alrighty, guys, we are back here on Black, Educated, and Broke. At this very moment, we are streaming at both places. We're streaming here live on Facebook, and we're also streaming on our Instagram individual pages. Okay, so check us out. What's up? So if you see a little bit of a delay, that's because we're on two different mediums here. However, before the break, we were getting to something that has been trending all week. It's been all this controversy, and it's been about DaBaby. So at this point, we're doing our Millennial Table Talk, and this is when we take a point of time to cover some things that's trending, that's taboo, that everybody's talking about, and we're going to give our opinions on it, okay? And so, right now, everybody's trying to cancel DaBaby. Some of you have heard, some of you have not, but we got some audio here that I'm going to play for y'all that we got from on the Breakfast Club. Okay, so that's what he said, and so now people are trying to cancel him because they're calling him homophobic slurs, and he went on this rant, and he had a response as well. So before we answer this, I want you all to here's the response that DaBaby had to that. And that was pretty much was his response. So I just kind of want to ask each of y'all individually, what are your thoughts about, this whole situation? Do you feel like he had been canceled? Because one thing he was canceled for, which I feel some type of way about, we were supposed to be doing, I bought my concert for the Governor's Ball in New York this coming up in September for my birthday, and now he got pulled out. He got canceled out. So I'm kind of like, dang, he was one of the main reasons that I bought my ticket. So I'll start with you, Q, because I know you know a little bit about it too. What are your thoughts about his alleged rant?
Yeah, I was going to go because of the context for me. I'll kick it off. Y'all know me. I have a really hard time filtering what I'm going to say because what I'm going to say is going to be honest. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to be straight up. What he said was not homophobic. But before I go too far, what he said was out of line. Okay? Don't get that confused. I don't think he should have said that at all. There's a million things you can say as an artist, a million things you can say on stage to your fans. It didn't necessarily have to go there. I think what people are getting confused is they're mixing the HIV portion and the sucking D portion together. Mm-hmm. But that's not together. Those are two separate things because HIV is not a gay disease, all right? I know it started off like that when it came. People be doing that, all right? We all know that people have HIV, and for them to try to lump them together and try to say that he was coming for the gay community is completely wrong and it's asinine. And for them to try to cancel him for that is super white. Think about his lyrics. Go down every show that is canceling him and show me the rappers that's on that show and let me know if they shouldn't be canceled as well from the show, be pulled because of the things that they promote, whether it's misogyny, whether it's drug use, whether it's violence against another person. Like, the cancel culture is so whack to me. Like, it's super freaking lame. But we live in a time where homosexuality is the thing, okay? Like, when you look at people who are gay or making it, 9 times out of 10, they papered up, all right? They getting in there. They the people in our field. They the ones in the movie. You can't turn on a cartoon. I just seen Gonzo yesterday. They done made Gonzo a transgender.
What? For real?
Yeah, no BS. I'll send it to you. Like, that's the thing. Everything has to be gay and inclusive. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it because I'm not homophobic. I don't have no problem with the community. Like, you do what you do, whatever you feel comfortable with. But y'all can't force it down somebody else's throat who's not with it. Just like we can't force up on you to be straight. Oh, you don't like women. Oh, you ain't supposed to be a transgender. You supposed to be da-da-da-da. You don't accept it. So I think as people, we should accept folks for who they are and not try to make them to be conform to what you want them to conform to. And what he said, like I said, is wrong. But I don't think that he made it out to be no gay stuff. And if you're a man and you're doing that, it is homosexual. So what's the problem? That ain't a lie. It's true.
Okay. All right, Q. Okay, so I want to switch it. Let's get a female perspective. Maya, I'm going to come to you. What do you feel about it?
Well, to start, I never had any thoughts on DaBaby to begin with. I was not really a fan of his. I feel like all his music sounds the same to me, in my opinion. So I really didn't really... I don't know. All I knew him as was Megan Thee Stallion's work husband, to be honest. Like, the only time I listened to him was if he was on the song with Megan Thee Stallion. So to hear what he said, I'm not a part of the community. I feel like I am an ally. You know, I support love. Love is love. I have no problem with who you love or how you love them. I do feel like he should have just, like, out of all the things you could have just said, y'all, you could have just said, like, have a great night, like, ladies, y'all all right? Fellas, how you feeling? And, you know, y'all have a good time. Thank you for having me. Bye. Just walk off the stage. Anything but what you said, because we're in times now where everything is super sensitive. Not super sensitive, but hypersensitive.
Yes.
It's a very hypersensitive time of the world and community and everything. And that's one topic. That is the number one topic that you just want to avoid at all costs. Not to say that you should and that you should be afraid of it, but if you're not educated, touch on, especially if you're ignorant to, you know, the ins and outs of it. I don't speak on it. I don't know enough of it to call myself an expert or even to be knowledgeable of the situation. I don't even know what half the letters in the LGBTQIA stand for, to be honest. To be completely honest, I really don't know all those letters. And I'm okay with admitting that, and I'm okay with actually learning about it. I just don't, you know, it's a tricky situation. It's a catch-22, but I am, with cancel culture being so hypersensitive and the times that we live in with the whole, if you're not hetero, you're X, Y, and Z, all that together, I just feel like he is bringing awareness to the HIV and AIDS, what we are living in, because right now it hasn't gone away. It's still there. It's still very much alive and thriving, as you see on the commercials. Even though they do, like you say, they try to make it seem like it's a gay disease. It's not a gay disease. It's a disease, period, point blank, period. It's still here, and it's still thriving. We focus all of our attention on coronavirus because that's what the media is portraying, but HIV and AIDS is still out here. It's still targeting the Black community very strongly. Most Black women are dying from it more than, you know, the men are. So, like, let's talk about it. Let's bring awareness to that. But the way he just presented the conversation, or how he brought the conversation to the table, it could have just been a better, I don't want to say a better situation, because it's like, you don't want to see nobody get canceled. You don't want to see nobody go through depression over this. Like, the world is hard already, and now you got, like, different spectrums of different fields coming at you, all because you made one stupid, ignorant comment in the moment. I don't know. It's a sticky situation, because it's like, at this point, if you stand with him, you're homophobic. If you stand against him, you know, it's just, it's hard trying to balance that spectrum and try to remain neutral in Switzerland, but they really make it hard. Like, not they, but the culture, the community we are in, the times we're in, it makes it very hard to be very neutral in Switzerland. Like, if you don't have an opinion, you're a mindless drone. If you have an opinion, you're way too woke. It's just like, I don't know, y'all.
You just can't win for losing. Like,
yeah, it's just like,
you're damned if you don't.
You really are. It's a catch-22. I don't know. I don't have answers. I know I don't. And half the time I don't want them, because that's a heavy crown to bear. And I don't want to be an advocate for that situation or that community or anybody but me. All I know is Maya. And I know Maya's good. Maya is tested. Maya's good. Maya practices safe sex. Maya is, all I can speak for is me, you know? So I'm dragging this out, and I'm talking.
That's okay.
And I feel like I'm saying a whole lot of nothing in the midst of everything that I'm saying.
No, you aren't. It's like for you to say, like, I don't have thoughts about DaBaby. You had a lot of thoughts, but so it's okay though. But that's what we want to talk about. That he made a lot of good points, and I want to add something before I take it to Mike B. There was an article that came out today on Wednesday that 11 organizations offer private meetings to educate DaBaby about HIV and AIDS. So based on his remarks, the HIV, AIDS, and LGBTQ plus community, they're trying to, offer him help and educate him. So that just came out.
Organizations like that, instead of canceling you, I'm going to sit you down and I'm going to give you the opportunity to learn. And it's up to you. If you want to learn about it, you are more than welcome to. But I'm not going to cancel you for not knowing. And that's what I appreciate, opposed to just jumping straight into canceling. Like, I do think some of these concerts and festivals taking them off the lineup are way too hasty with it, especially because it's already been money spent.
They got to.
I know they have to, because of the performative aspect of it. and
older.
how it looks.
They got to, but I think it's. I ain't gonna go long. I'm sorry. I think it's whack that they are trying to make it seem like that he said something about HIV being a gay disease. He didn't do that. Like, why do you need to educate? We all know about HIV and the gay. Not much about the gay community, but we know about HIV. Stop trying to loop that together. What do you need to sit down and talk about what?
Okay. Okay, Mike B, what's your thoughts, brother?
What concerts has he been canceled from?
Well, like I said, the Governor's Ball, the ATL Festival,
Lollapalooza, iHeart Radio Music Festival,
Music Midtown took him off.
Music Midtown.
Okay, here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Interesting. You talking about thoughts, but at the end of the day, it's not about answers. We discussing this, so you got to dissect it. You brought up cancel culture. Somebody volume up. We got to turn your device down. But at the end of the day, you're talking about cancel culture. I mean, that's just the society that we are living in now. So did he say, I guess it's an opinion question. Did he say something out of line? Was it just wrong? Was it false facts? What Q, you said he was wrong or out of line?
What he said is both. He shouldn't have said that. Like, we getting, like, how do I put this? We have thoughts on our mind, and you know when you crossing the line. Like, those comments were just crossing the line. That didn't need to be said. It wasn't pertinent to his performance. He probably could have worded or said it. He could have just said, if your vagina smell like water, put your light in the air. All ladies gonna throw their light in the air. Fellas, if you know you're gonna knock that thing off when you get her home tonight, put your light in the air. You know you and your partner,
right.
You know, something like that. But to say what he said, it didn't need to be said. It just didn't.
More so, like the wording seemed very targeted.
Yeah.
But you hit on it. You got to dissect this. Forget cancel culture, and don't say. I know you just said you want to be. You said you're an advocate for yourself, which we all are. We always going to advocate for ourselves, but we can't be the same type of people. Like, he just apologized and he said that he has gay fans and this, that, and the third. I mean, we all know gay family members and this, that, and the third who we love dearly. So dissect it. They have been criticized for what they choose to do. And because they have been criticized, and we're talking about cancel culture and this, that, and the third, what has been linked to our gay brothers and sisters, especially our gay brothers, is the AIDS epidemic and HIV, the virus. So at the end of the day, now we're in this process of cancel culture. Don't say it. Like you said, he shouldn't have said it. So don't say it. And now, since he said it, okay, we're going after all that because that's how they have been linked. At the end of the day, it is what it is. So hopefully he got a fan base that's gonna keep him together. Hopefully he can still tour and do what he need to do. But I mean, they come with the backlash. I mean, comedians can't say what they want to say no more. You got up there and you said it. If you weren't thinking, you apologize for it. Keep it moving.
Yeah, and I'm glad you kind of brought up the comedians, Mike, because that was gonna be my take. Because I still feel like, yeah, they're not really getting canceled. They're kind of getting passes too. But I feel like comedians have said far worse. But you know, it's like at the end of the day, I just feel like we are in a very sensitive culture. We live in sensitive culture where things, I feel like, you know, a hit dog gonna holler. Okay, like you ain't even necessarily maybe trying to be specific, but if it touches anything to it, oh my God. You know, I'm offended. And it's like, on one end, I do understand the LGBT community. For you to talk about HIV/AIDS, okay, boom, all right, cool, do. But then you talk about getting your dick sucked in the parking lot. Okay, wait a minute. Why did you have to say that it wasn't necessarily right after, but you made the comment about vagina and water, and then you made that comment. It was too close. Or like, are you trying to? That's when it's like, what was the need for that? But at the same time, like I said, at clubs, I hear DJs say all kind of stuff to get you to make some noise, and you know, it don't even, I don't know, it did not take me that way. But as Maya mentioned, I feel like in today's society and culture, you just have to be aware. And it kind of sucks because it's like, you want your freedom of speech. You want to say what you want to say, and now you can't say what you want to say because somebody's gonna attack you, and it's just like
just hilarious. One of the members of the community said she was a tranny on her page. She called him a faggot, and the whole community attacked her. Like, where was that energy?
That's not fair. It's like it's not the same energy.
Too much.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you jumping on her? And this person started the drama, and now he's just reading her the riot act. Like, they try to cancel her. Like, that's whack. And that's the thing about that community. They just jump all over you, and they don't care. Like,
and I don't want to say everybody in that community, though. I don't want to just be specific on that, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, the community, not them in particular, not specific people, but I just think that's super lame.
No, it is, though. It is.
I would actually like to see that same energy, like, as far as, like, because I feel like, you know, with the LGBT community and transgender community, all of them, they stick together. And if they feel accused or offended in type of way, they stick together to make sure justice is served. And I just wish, as far as the Black community, people of color, and all, I'm gonna be Black community because I wish we could have that same energy to rally together and get stuff changed just like they do. You know, I wish we had to come together to create a situation where people get canceled and cut off, just how when the LGBT community want to cancel and cut off, it gets cut off. But I feel like we don't have that same type of backing, and I don't know what that is about.
Because we don't accept all. You keep talking about the LGBTQ community, but whatever you identify as in the community is accepted. And then you come in our community and you're supposed to be Black, and then you get looked at some type of way because you don't fit you're not a typical, you're not born a man or born woman, whatever you're not born the norm. And so then you get looked at some type of way. And like you said, it's not everybody. I'm a huge fan of Marcus Parker, better known as Flame Monroe, the comedian. Been in the game a long time, and a couple of interviews that he's done on the Breakfast Club, he talks about as Q say, it's just unnecessary in the community, some of the stuff that they jumping on. But at the end of the day, because like you say, Randy, you got to dissect this. They sticking together. If you gonna say something, you already know you gonna get backlash from it. You either stick with your guns or not. Because at the end of the day, they ain't canceling you. You just off a few shows. Like DaBaby gonna be just fine.
He gonna go do his Breakfast Club interview, and everything gonna be smooth.
You say what?
After the year he had.
Club interview and be all right.
No, it's just ain't nobody in charge of no show. Money rule it. That's money.
I see Ron talking on the Facebook Live, but I can't hear anything he's saying.
I hear Ron.
I see him talking.
We're gonna hear Ron's response. Like we're gonna hear Ron's response. We're gonna edit it, and our edited version is gonna come out on Friday because he's giving his thoughts about it too. Yeah.
Sorry, Ron.
Now why you gotta get on Instagram,
But to Mike's point, what he was saying about the inclusiveness in the backing between the Black community versus other communities, it's just because when you're in the Black community, you're Black and ... It's always conditional. Opposed to with the LGBTQ, all you gotta say is I identify as X, Y, and
but
Z,
we do that.
That's what you are.
We do that in our community to our folks. You Black and then you this, that, and the third. No, you just Black.
Like Randy and I, we're Black, but we're also women. We're Black women. Yeah. Q and you're Black, but you're also men. You're Black men. And that's how those are your identifying factors.
Well, I just feel like we need to have a little bit more grace and mercy.
Knowing all too well the effects it's had specifically on the Black community, hate and ignorance don't have a scale. It's just hate. Okay? DaBaby should have...
Oh, that's from Ombre. Okay, Ombre.
And just left it at that. He bought
that part.
What
up, KJ?
I don't know.
Oh, somebody need to mute their stuff. Baby shit. It's okay. Kale's the realest. The baby should just ask how folks are doing. Left it at that. I agree. Yeah, I mean, and we. What is that sound? Somebody's stuff is like. Okay, I don't hear it anymore. But yeah, and we do appreciate all y'all comments that are coming in and stuff like that. And to Ombre's part, because Ombre is we used to go to middle school together. And it's not so much that we're trying to rationalize any trauma or triggers of it, because it's not a rationalization. That's what we're necessarily trying to say. But there are two aspects to every situation. I think the whole thing, a lot of people just really aren't aware until situation does come out like this. Because sometimes people's intentions can really be true, but people can take intentions to be something as you're being targeted. And sometimes that's not the case. Now, what DaBaby said and the manner in which it was, I understand it looked a little suspect. Like, are you trying to target black and gay men? Why? But at the end of the day, I just also feel like, when are we gonna? When is it not gonna be always something? When is it gonna be like, we're gonna just let it go? When is it we're gonna have to always get every? I don't know. I feel indifferent. It's like, are we gonna make a fire out of everything? Are we gonna actually not make fires and actually make educational moments and do that instead of actually canceling people? Because my thing is, like, if somebody has nothing offensive and all rights, I think you have a right to say something and speak up because you're offended. But to get people canceled and losing, it's like, okay, wait a minute. Is there like another way? That's my argument.
That's my whole thing about the whole cancel thing. Like, who are you? You're not actually canceling nobody because this person still exists. Yeah, your community might not mess with them, but there's a bunch of other people who is still going to support and listen to the music or watch the movies, whatever have you. So, like, and then we be canceling our own people. That's the thing.
No, but real quick, one thing
Well,
that somebody made a point, Kelsey. I was trying to play that other video. The video where he responded, like, he starts off in my own. I wish I could play it so y'all can actually hear it, but he starts off good, kind of trying to like, it wasn't like that, but then he gets at the end of that video, he starts sounding ignorant. He did, because he was just. It did get a little ignorant, and we're gonna have to play it back, and then maybe we'll do like a times two and let us hear our responses after we see the end of the video. But at the end of the day, my whole thing is like, and I think he was saying this could be just teachable, not just completely like canceling somebody. So
I agree.
All right. So did y'all know we got you on the live? Anybody else wanna add on it or ask any, y'all feedback, what y'all thought about, the whole DaBaby? Do you feel like he should be canceled? Do you feel like he should just, gotten a second chance? Because
now, to Randy's point, when you were talking about his latest video and how it became ignorant towards the end,
yes,
I don't think anyone should be canceled off the front, until they have at least tried to get an understanding. But if he continues to not try and wants to maintain his viewpoint, and make videos where it is just blatantly ignorant, then cancel
right. Then it's like,
okay,
you didn't
get him out of here. You're cut off. You cut it out. Get him out of here.
Just say cancel. Just get him out of here. Get him out of here.
But if he wants to better himself, educate himself, and try to get an understanding and not flip the narrative, but at least offer a genuine apology, because what he has been releasing doesn't sound like it's an apology. It's kind of just like, this is my opinion, this is my thought, and it is what it is. Take it or leave it. If you a fan, you a fan. I fuck with you. If you're not a fan, oh well, fuck you too. That's what it really sounds like to me.
You better own it.
Okay.
And if you're gonna stand 10 toes down in it, I'm with you. Own it. But also get him out of here, because if you're gonna own it in the backyard. You ain't gotta be in the front yard with this.
Own in the backyard.
Yeah, don't be in the front yard doing all this. Get in the backyard.
For Instagram, I'm gonna have to play it differently on Facebook. I'm gonna stop the Facebook Live and I'm gonna upload it differently. But for Instagram, I'm gonna actually play it. I'm gonna play it through the speaker here. Let me just stop the live, and then I'm gonna play it back for y'all.
Mike P said, I don't think DaBaby wants to understand honestly.
And if he doesn't want to, that's his prerogative.
Confused on that. That's why I want to play this video. All right, here we go. Let's see if y'all can hear this. Here, I'm gonna start from the.
Also, Randy, you have.
Wait, hold on. But you gotta be quiet when I do it, Mike. Go ahead though before I start.
You got comments on the Zoom just the same. Turn the Facebook Live off. I'm sorry.
It ain't off.
My Zoom cut off. Y'all Zoom cut off?
No.
No, it's still open. What you say, Maya, about the comment on turn off Facebook, turn devices? Okay. All right. Let me stop recording on Facebook. And
something bit me, y'all.
Boom. All right. Boom. Okay. Here we go. Now I'm about to play it.
It definitely died.
Now y'all gotta be. Here we go. Y'all be muted. Here we go.
One time I'm gonna get back to giving my love to my fans. You know what I'm saying? Because what me and my fans do at the live show, it don't concern you niggas on the internet or you bitter bitches on the internet. It's not y'all business. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I do at a live show is for the audience at the live show. It'll never translate correctly to somebody looking at a little 5-6 second clip from their goddamn crib on their phone. It just don't work like that. Like, no. Because regardless of what you motherfuckers talking about, how the internet been twisted up my motherfucking words. Me and all my fans at the show, the gay ones and the straight ones, we turned the fuck up. I'm talking about my boy that was at the front of the stage left over there by where I jumped at. Ask him. He got clips all on his shit. The whole night was recording. We would turn the whole night. My boy had the crop top on, front row. Yeah, out there in that jungle, in that water. Yeah, he out there. He's standing on the rail. Got him cutting up. He words. I saw him. I'm rapping them bitches with him. Yeah. Man, y'all talking about y'all niggas. Shut the fuck up. You niggas, you niggas that ain't at the show. The show is for the niggas who paid the money.
There you go.
Took the time out of their life to come enjoy the show. Not you motherfuckers watching it on the internet at the crib. No, nigga, just get your tickets and come fuck with the live show killer, gay and straight. Don't let these motherfuckers hell. I say if you don't got AIDS, put a cell phone light up. I say if you ain't suck dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights up. So I could drop my next song. I wasn't going on no rant. That's called a call to action. That's what that's called, because I'm a live performer. I'm the best live performer. I'm a live show killer. You interact with your fans. You get what I'm saying? Look, all the lights went up, gay or straight. You want to know why? Because even my gay fans don't got fucking AIDS, stupid ass niggas.
No.
They don't got AIDS. My gay fans, they take care of themselves. They ain't going for that. They ain't
How
no
do you
nasty
know?
gay niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
They ain't no junkies.
How do you know this?
You know what I'm saying? On the street. Yeah, you talking about nigga.
Okay.
Then I said, if you ain't suck dick in the rolling loud parking lot, put your cell phone light up. You know what my gay fans did?
And then that's where I think this stops. So yeah.
PR team is terrible. He shouldn't.
That's when he messed
need
up
a
at the
whole
end.
new
It's
team.
like, what?
He shouldn't have been talking at all. He should
That's
just.
when it's like, what?
Now I see why Beyonce don't say nothing to y'all. Like,
Yeah, so at that point, so did y'all opinion about him kind of change after watching that?
No, I still feel how I felt, but he did. Somebody should have spoke for him. Like he didn't need to come on and talk, or they should have had something written for him to say. He can memorize the best parts of it and say it, but he didn't need to get on and defend himself because he.
Mike say he lost brain cells.
I feel you, Mike. Like, what?
Mike said what he said.
But nevertheless, y'all, the cancel baby, not that that's up to you guys to each his own. Feel free. We're gonna put this topic on our page. Y'all feel free to weigh in and keep it moving. We thank you all for watching us on our Instagram Live, a little bit on our Facebook. We're gonna go ahead and take a break and we're gonna wrap up because it's about the end of the show. Y'all make sure you follow us on Black Educated and Broke on our Instagram pages, guys, for those who are watching us now on our live. Check out us on our YouTube page, Black Educated and Broke, where we give you a video because our favorite best producer in the land, Zay from the Bay, put them videos together, making us look popping. Okay. And then if you're a Twitter fingers like Ron, who's not on Instagram, go ahead and follow us on Twitter, BEB Podcast _ATL. Okay. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Team Breezy.